so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice. I've got to do the news!
Do you know these tits, Errol?
I know a lot of tits, Governor, but I don't know any quite as stupid as these two.
Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love...
The country I love.
...first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
I don't want to see you go, but boy, you had better go now. Go now, go now, go now. Don't you even try.
Welcome indeed, people, to the Brews at 10 on my left eye. I'm your humble host Lefty. You're all very welcome here. This evening, the first live stream since Starmer quit, the first PMQs since Starmer quit, and the first Keith's Catchphrases since Starmer quit. I say Solidari-Tea to that, and let's brew this thing. Idiosyncrasy, setting a marvellous example of how to kick off a live stream with 5 gifted memberships, thank you very much. Idiosyncrasy, however you choose to spell baited, indeed, yes, we wait with bated breath for the first Keith's Catchphrases since Storm resigned, as I said. We've got Aaron Gray in the chat as well, Darren Smith, nice to see you, Luke Garou, Big Jerry as well, so do enjoy your perks. The recipients of those 5 gifted memberships. Can we give Idiosyncrasy a bit of thanks and gratitude in the chat, please, everybody? Big up, brat brat, and all that. Is that what they say now? Brat brat, is that it? We have a Doc in the house as well, although he is melting. Yeah, we're all melting. 32-33 here in Manchester today, a record-breaking day of heat as we get further into the climate crisis, of course. Might talk a bit more about that after PMQs, after Keith's catchphrases. I will be making a very hasty start to the stream though, good people. Might be a little bit shorter than usual. I know that we do have a lot of Scottish viewers, for example, and there is a game this evening with Scotland, a very important must draw or win game against Brazil. Very best of luck to Scotland, of course, but please no football spoilers in chat if we do end up going over 11 o'clock, past 11 o'clock I should say, on stream. I don't think there's a game at the moment, but if there is, no spoilers for that as well, because I prefer not to know myself before highlights, and I'm sure that some people would appreciate a spoiler-free space where I can still talk about politics, so we'd like to offer that combination, I guess. Do hit thumbs up as you join us on stream, please, good people. And please fill out the poll as well, very simple one, very early days of course, but how long do you think the next leader of the opposition will last? Less than 1 year, 1 to 2 years, or until the next general election, the next scheduled one, in 2 and a bit years or so? Starmer not even lasting 2 whole years, in fact. Just a quick reminder as well, people, other ways to help support the channel, as well as displayed by Idiosyncrasy with the gifted memberships. We have super chats, super stickers, which are available if you're watching live, super thanks if you're catching up later on. And whenever you're watching, the trusty Buy Me a Coffee page is always there, and you'll find the link for that in the description of any content on the stream if you're unable to help us out via YouTube. But we do prefer gifted memberships where possible, of course. Appreciate all of your support wherever it comes from. 100, oh sorry, that goal is incorrect, it's actually 121. Don't want to get technical, but 121 towards the target, 250 now. Thank you to everybody who's renewed recently as well, forgot to say that one. As well as the new recent plug for Hype Points, of course. Please do check out some video non-stream content on a mobile device, tablet, laptop, not laptop, mobile phone. Hit the thumbs up button and it should give you the option to contribute some Hype Points. We really need to get back on the algorithm with videos. Thank you very much, everybody. In the very early days of the poll, no votes for less than 1 year, 43% for 1 to 2 years, and 57% for until the next general election, so very early still. We'll swiftly move into PMQs and Keith's catchphrases. I'll explain how that works before we get into it for anybody who is not familiar. Non-regular viewers, you're all welcome here, of course. Regular viewers or new. Opening comedy clip comes from Noow Media with Tag Hickey. Great comedian. For anybody who isn't familiar with him, he was also passenger on one of the Gaza flotillas, the Samud flotilla, I believe to be specific. A true hero as well, was kidnapped in international waters by the IDF. Here he is with his 2 cents on Starmer's departure, and then we'll get into PMQs. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up button, people. Appreciate it. Solidarity.
There's widespread mourning in the Ukrainian rent boy community today as Keir Starmer prepares to leave office. Britain now reflects on one of the great inspirational stories of our age. The story of an ordinary working class boy from a pebble-dashed semi-detached house who rose through the ranks of British public life and proved that in modern Britain, even people who have known hardship themselves can also, with a little bit of success, become utterly callous cunts. Starmer's journey is really remarkable. Born into modest circumstances, he became a human rights lawyer, director of public prosecutions, Labour leader, and eventually Prime Minister. A triumph of social mobility, proof that no matter where you start in life, if you work hard enough, one day you too can disappoint millions of people. His greatest achievement came during the Corbyn years when faced with a left-wing movement that had unexpectedly gained control of the Labour Party. Starmer bravely asked the question, "But what if I just stab my buddy in the back?" The answer would define the next decade of British politics. As Prime Minister, Starmer continued to exceed expectations. Critics had feared he would merely be a boring, red John Major type. Instead, he actually showed a lot of fascist, genocidal bastard energy, which surprised many. Perhaps nowhere was this more evident than in his approach to Israel and Gaza, at a moment when many world leaders were struggling to balance international law, reckoning with blatant Israeli war crimes sponsored by the West, humanitarian concerns and diplomatic pressure. Starmer discovered a simpler approach. He decided to lodge his head up Netanyahu's arse and see if that would excuse him from having to answer any more spiky questions. Still, his legacy is secure. For Keir Starmer showed a generation of young Britons that no dream is impossible. A child from a pebble-dashed semi can become a human rights lawyer. A human rights lawyer can become Prime Minister, and a Prime Minister can spend years methodically evolving into the sort of politician his younger self would have cross-examined. A truly extraordinary journey from outsider to insider to genocide denier.
Noow Media, give them a follow. There's a link in the description as well as for the relative members' YouTubes as well. Quality content. Great to see Tag as always. Yep, he called it. Couldn't have summed it up better myself, although we are going to be summing it up further with our next video, which will be part 3 of a series actually in the Labour government so far so shit series. The last one was back in September of last year, and just very quickly before we get into PMQs, I want to share this with you. This comes from towards the end of the video with the brief analysis. For anybody who follows us on social media, you can give us a follow at MyLeftRUK if you don't already. But those who do might have seen this going around earlier on, which we posted a couple of hours or so ago. I'll keep my final, just bear with, just uploading this in real time actually. Just quickly make sure I can hear it. Yeah, so as far as predictions for how long Keir Starmer looks set to last, or other predictions in politics, then you could do worse than listen and follow My Left Eye. Analysis short by concluding that their status is still so far so shit, and after a walloping in the next local elections, I think we'll probably see Starmer stepping down sometime around June 2026 or sooner. Oh, he's fucking knocked it out the ball. I'll keep my fine. Whoever that was, doing that was excellent narration there, although with a slightly inferior microphone. It would, I'm just guessing, you know, but whomever that was really did hit the nail on the head right there. So yes, as predicted by us here at My Left Eye, to the month, not bad. Thank you very much. Okay, yes, that was excellent. The prediction and Tag Hickey, whichever you're referring to. Yeah, thank you very much for all your comments in the chat. Let's get going with Keith's catchphrases. Here he is. He's back. It was Deputy PMQs last week, of course, so Keith's back from the G7, where he was, of course, duly mostly ignored by other world leaders. You know, we heard you are quitting as soon as you get back, and in other various poor imitations of European accent. Anyway, what's it all about? Keith, as he is about to leave. Yeah, I can't believe it because we predicted it, but yeah, it seems strange that Keith's catchphrases will be no more soon. In fact, perhaps 50 to 70% of our features and our inserts will have to change or be removed. We're working on that, don't worry, people. But what is this crap all about? Well, I'll go through that after we've done the introduction. Take it away, Lindsay.
We now come to Prime Minister's questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Deliver. Black hole. Plan for change. 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 Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It's dead easy, people. It's so easy, even Wes Streeting could do it. Very basic, simple rules. First of all, the contending phrases, which are pitted against each other, that is two phrases, one-on-one, have to be spoken by Keir Starmer. It will be winner stays on, unless all others have been played, or it's a draw, which happened last week, actually, with a very dull 0-0, which we're hoping not to repeat this week, so we have replaced both contenders this time around. Variations or permutations are allowed on the phrases. I'll be the judge of what passes and what doesn't, past tenses, pluralisation, that kind of thing. Within the league, there is actually a league for the 10 contenders. It is 3 points for a win, just 1 for a draw, and nothing for a loss. You don't get anything for a loss in this game, which is about to come to an end rather soon. As a feature, unfortunately, it is a quality item. There is also a hidden feature, hidden word or phrase, which anybody apart from Keir Starmer can mention, and you won't know about that until it's mentioned. We've had a few episodes where we got through the entirety of PMQs and it didn't come up. We'll see what happens this time around. Allowing for permutations, of course, is quite a big one where this is concerned. Bit of a clue there. So that's the rules, pretty much. Any questions about those, just ask in the chat. I'm sure you'll pick it up. It's, as I said, so easy. West Streeting could play along. This is the league, which will soon come to a close, but we already have a champion with Security, who went on a couple of great streaks and ended up with 24 points. Postman Swat in second with Deliver. That's the appropriate word, or pertaining word. Has played all other contenders as well, and having 1 loss and 1 draw, has finished 2 points behind the champion. Change in third, Budget in fourth, Clear in fifth. Bottom half of the table, which could change this evening because we have Plan in sixth place, contending this evening. Deal was involved last week in the draw, as well as Black Hole in 8th. Knob the Builder with Fix is the penultimate contender on 0 points, having played 4, and finally at the bottom, without any points or any mentions, is Inheritance. So this evening, we'll see what can happen at the bottom of the table. Pretty straightforward. And let's get into it. Yeah, it's a good item.
It's a quality item, ladies and gentlemen.
Plan and Fix there. As you can see, if the hidden feature is unlocked, that will appear in the bottom left-hand corner, but you'll get a very obvious notification about that. You'll hear this noise when any of these two contending phrases, or words in this case, are mentioned. All good? Right. Just need to get himself on the screen. Where is he? And we're good to go.
We now come to questions to the Prime Minister. Clive Jones.
Question number 1, please, Mr. Speaker.
Prime Minister.
Yeah, piss off. Get
Thank you,
back in.
Mr. Speaker. Can I start by saying
You could start by saying goodbye, and that's PMQs for this week. We'll see you next time on Keith's Catchphrases.
my thoughts are with all those injured in the rail collision last Friday. I was deeply saddened to learn of the death of the driver of the Corby to St Pancras train. His family have requested privacy.
Oh, of course, Starmer's seat is Holborn, St Pancras, that's why he's mentioning this. You'll also notice to his right as we look, outgoing Chancellor Rachel Reeves as well. Yes, she's not going to be in position much longer. It was more or less Keith keeping her in check, although you'd have had more luck managing the economy if you'd asked a magic fucking 8-ball.
And we should all respect that. I send my deepest sympathies to them at this awful time. My thoughts are also with those injured in the appalling attack in Edinburgh, which appears to be motivated by anti-Muslim hatred. Mr. Speaker, let's be...
Okay, so I paused it here. Sorry to interject so much early on. I will let it flow a lot wider as we go on. But I did predict, with Keith's relative silence on this matter compared to, say, his strong concern for 2 vehicles, 2 ambulances, but we're actually talking about human beings in this case, who happen to be Muslims and victims. So I predicted he'd probably make a fleeting, sombre statement here at PMQs, and then try and wedge in a change of mood or some sort of joke, and that would be it. Very disingenuous. That's what I'm expecting. We'll see.
Clear, in this country, an attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. We will not stand for it, and the perpetrator will face the full force of the law. Let me commend our emergency services who responded to both incidents with outstanding bravery and professionalism in very difficult circumstances.
Yeah, idiosyncrasy, good point. No Cobra meeting, Keith. The right-wing media were, of course, very silent as well, so the Labour press office, I'm assuming that Labour still do have a fucking press office, and the spin doctors grinding away. I know we're a long way past the era of Campbell and whatnot, but that still is a thing. It's been a thing since Tony Blair. He more or less imitated that straight out of George W. Bush's playbook with the interconnection of state and media. So none of that going on because it was Muslims who were attacked. And yeah, pretty obvious, isn't it?
Mr. Speaker, one of the greatest privileges of leading this country is meeting our armed forces, celebrating their work and marking Armed Forces Week. And I want to thank them all for their dedication, their courage and sacrifice to protect our way of life. Mr. Speaker, this morning I had meetings with Minister and
that's
colleagues
the last
and
we'll
others.
hear about that from Keith.
Further such meetings later today. Not
and,
today.
and now he's... Oh, yeah, there you go. And you heard that here first on my left eye. And now they're all laughing. They're all laughing. Oh, isn't it terrible? Yes, terrible. I've got emotions. I have human emotions. And, well, let's all have a laugh. You know, this is a live stream covering politics. It sometimes goes that way with the mood of what we're discussing. But to do that in this case, it always really irks me. To be honest, look at this guy about to have a hernia in the front row, close 2 along from Ed Davey on the left there. Call a fucking ambulance. That's the funniest funniest gag that he's ever heard in his entire fucking Tory life. Oh, very good, Keith, very good indeed.
Fuck off.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and can I associate myself with the Prime Minister's remarks? Prime Minister, the National Cancer Plan is something that your government can be really proud of. Cancer patients in Wokingham and across the country cannot afford for it not to be implemented or regularly updated. Will the Prime Minister leave a lasting legacy and support my Cancer Private Members Bill to ensure that future governments remain accountable for delivering its targets and ambitions?
Well, can I first recognise his personal experience and pay tribute to his campaign?
Bilderberg, nice to see you in chat. Solidari-Tea, thanks for joining us.
We're ending the postcode lottery with more cancer specialists, paying the travel costs of children travelling for cancer care, and investing in technology to drive research into rare cancers. Thanks to our record investment in the NHS, we've the shortest waits for cancer diagnosis on record. He'll be pleased to know that in his constituency...
Sorry, I've just had to regroup in my own head. I've been listening out for the entirely wrong words. Excuse me. A little bit of the deliver syndrome. But yeah, there's not been a plan or a fix yet, I don't believe. If you think I've missed anything, let me know. In chat, please, good people. God, it's stifling in here, y'all.
Waiting lists in his local care board are down by 40,000. That's thanks to a Labour government and Labour decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Max Hall is 14 years old. He should be worrying about school, football, friends and what he wants to be when he grows up. Instead, he is living with a high-grade brain tumour and there is no cure available to him. His parents, Jackie and Stephen, want to know, why are children still being diagnosed with brain tumours and told there's no treatment options available? Why has brain tumour research remained so underfunded when...
Here's a clue. Yeah.
Brain tumours kill more children and adults under 40 than any other cancer? And why are families like them left to search for hope themselves?
It is appalling. It is appalling that that happens. It's appalling that it's a political choice that it happens. The likes of Keir Starmer and former Health Secretary now, of course, Wes Streeting.
This Prime Minister has done so much to strengthen our NHS.
Damn right!
So does he agree with me that we need to move at pace and do much more to offer hope to Max and his family and families like his facing this unequally devastating disease?
Can I just say my thoughts?
Intertwined with a bit of a planted question.
I'm sure the thoughts of the whole House are with Max and his family in what must be the most awful of circumstances. Through our Cancer Trials Accelerator programme, we'll make it easier to launch innovative new clinical trials and find new treatment.
Yeah, it is very difficult to operate on brain cancers, of course. In some cases, with a lot of cancers as well, not just brain cancers, the very simple answer is we simply do not have the treatment cures yet. But we can get there if we keep trying. But we can't do that with cuts to funding, perhaps in favour of things like defence. Keith?
And for people like Max, that will mean
maybe choose life over death for a change.
Research priority, make clinical trials more accessible, and pay for his travel costs for care. I hope that comes as some comfort, but as a parent, I can't imagine what his family are going through, given the circumstances that he faces. And I know that a minister will be happy to meet Max and his family.
Leader of the opposition, Kemi Benno.
He's not going to have much vim, is he, this evening, Keith? I'm already getting that impression. He's just going to stand up and meet this person, meet that person. There might be an above-average amount of simple yes or no answers, which he does like to use to avoid questions, of course. People are going to try and take the opportunity to rinse as much out of him as they can, now that they know that it's a ticking clock situation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And can I associate this side of the House with the Prime Minister's
Here
remarks
she is,
on the
six of the
horrific
same,
crash,
Kemi
the attacks in
Bednock.
Edinburgh, and of course, Armed Forces Week. I want to start by congratulating the Prime Minister. He's the other party leader who won a by-election last week. Although I think I'm much happier with my new MP than he is with his. 2 weeks ago, Mr. Speaker, 2 weeks ago, the Prime Minister told the House that the government was funding defence and everything was under control. The very next day, the Defence Secretary resigned, saying the Prime Minister was unable and the Treasury unwilling to fund the defence of our country. What changed?
Well, Mr. Speaker, she references the by-election. I'm very pleased with our...
I'll just skip back a moment. I'll say yet again, defence against whom, against what is the enemy. This has come up, what, in the last 2-3 PMQs at least, and still no answer from Kemi Badenoch. Of course, it's implied that Russia will attack a NATO country. Obviously, we're part of NATO before 2030. I don't really buy that. Other stronger implications: he couldn't just attack one NATO country. Some people would strongly suggest that he'd seek to overtake the entirety of the continent of Europe, which I think is even more fantastical. She used, what, 3 or 4 questions on this last time when David Lammy was filling in, but we'll see what she tries to get out of Keith with this one.
Unwilling to fund the defence of our country. What changed?
Outgoing Defence Minister John Healey in shot there, who quit recently as well.
Mr. Speaker, she references the by-election. I'm very pleased with our new Member of Parliament. Can I also say to her, in Gorton and Dent...
Fuck it.
Hidden feature unlocked. Hidden feature unlocked. Please try to remain calm during this extraordinary event.
Yeah, it's very reaching, very long permutation. But Andy Burnham getting a mention there. That's this week's hidden feature. Of course, they can't mention him by name now. It has to be, it will be the Right Honourable Member for Makerfield. Of course, they're not allowed to mention people by name, but I'll count that as a reference to Burnham. So there he is. Same begins soon, and gets his own little corner there, as the hidden feature always does. So that's going to be 1. I'll mark that up now for Burnham. So yeah, references like that, I guess, will count, as well as I said, the Right Honourable Member for Makerfield, as he's officially supposed to be referred to. On we go.
The Tories got 1.9% of the vote. Can I congratulate her? Because in Makerfield, they got 2.2% of the vote. Just edging past Count Binface. She says they're winning everywhere. At that
they did lose the
them
deposit
500
yep,
years
as well as
to get
Binface.
back into power.
Lib Dems did as well.
Mr. Speaker, meanwhile, back on these benches, we've delivered the biggest sustained boost to defence spending since the 1980s. That's 270...
We don't need that. Nobody out on the streets is calling for that. They need to sort out their energy bills, the cost of food, the day-to-day things that make things happen. There are 4 million children in poverty. We've got a homelessness crisis. We've got a climate crisis as well, Keith. And I don't know if you were in the know on this one or not, but war isn't exactly great at reducing CO2 levels.
He's got less brains than you, Lenny.
£1 billion over this Parliament. That, Mr. Speaker, is a record. The Defence Investment Plan will take that even higher. That's about facing the future. We'll finalise the plan with the Defence Secretary and we'll have it published before the NATO summit.
Mr. Speaker, I think the Prime Minister forgot to mention that in Aberdeen South we got 50%. And he says that he's funding defence. The truth is, he wouldn't be
on a turnout of 12.
In this mess if his Chancellor had found money for the Defence Investment Plan. The Prime Minister gave her the second most important job in Britain. She was the first female Chancellor. She lives next door.
Graham, nice to see you in chat. Speaking of revolutions, the most common trigger or cause of revolutions just happens to be food scarcity, of course. The common phrase being a population is never more than 9 meals away from a revolution. The climate crisis, of course, comes into this, with the UK set to see somewhere between a 35 and 50% reduction in food production or possible importation as a result of the climate crisis. That's where it mostly happens, if you want. Yeah. If you want my 2 cents, that's where it would come from. Less people choose to act quicker before they're forced into it via starvation, because of course that brings with it, along the way, all kind of horrors as well. But here we are. Britain 26.
To him, but wouldn't even come out to stand by him during his resignation speech. She was too busy getting ready for a selfie with the new leader. Does the Prime Minister feel let down by his Chancellor?
Well, he surrounded himself with careerists and lick-spittle yes people. Of course, what else has he come to expect? He's created this he's gone back to, I should say, the neoliberal culture that Blair brought in. He's had a very authoritarian top-down approach to running the Labour Party, of course, as well. And now they're all obviously looking to continue filling their own purses. So it's rats off the sinking ship time, but as far as meaningful change goes, it's just the old rearranging of the deck chairs on the Titanic, if you ask me.
This is the Chancellor who ended austerity inflicted on our country for 14 long years. This is the Chancellor who got the economy growing, Mr. Speaker. She doesn't normally want to talk about the economy.
She's so laughable, isn't it? You've resigned. She's going to be going as well. It's confirmed. You know, everybody's already done the deals. What, you think that they just back people out of the goodness of their own hearts? This is the top people, cabinet members, and so on and so forth. No, you know yourself, Keith. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Cushy cabinet job, whatever. And then you'll end up with a peerage, or you'll just be the CEO of a company in a cushy job, or, you know, director's board, whatever. That's the way it goes. But it's embarrassing to see you both there in shots, and you're trying to gloat, but you're both on the way out. You're both on the way out. And good fucking riddance to you.
That's because in the first quarter of this year, the UK had the fastest growing economy
He's doing
in the
it again.
G7.
He's doing it again.
Was upgraded by the IMF and the OECD. Last week, unemployment was down. Inflation was better. That is because with this chance, we have the right economic plan, and we can weather the global storms in the war that she wanted to jump into.
Most of that is pretty much in our unique Wednesday post-credits Shenanigans clip, which I'm sure that you're going to stick around for. I know, because I personally edited that one myself, heard it several times. And that was weeks ago, and it was almost exactly the same statement there, in verbatim. Unless he got his papers mixed up, I don't know. Maybe that's on his. Maybe that's on Darren Jones, his personal secretary, who was going to challenge him, but no, isn't that? You know, that really sums up what I was saying about careerism the best in this situation, almost as much as Streeting's shift in stance. But yeah, his own personal secretary was going to stand against him, and then decided not to, because he probably had the inside knowledge that he was about to quit.
Mr. Speaker, they're cheering so loudly. If it's all going so fine, why is he resigning? The fact is, she did let him down. She's the one who snatched the winter fuel payments. She's the one who announced a disastrous budget that killed economic growth. And because of her, once again, a Labour Prime Minister is leaving office with unemployment higher than when he came in. But the Chancellor isn't the only person who let him down. The Energy Secretary is putting up bills and killing jobs. He was, he's not here, is he? He was a failed Labour leader, rejected by the electorate, brought back from the wilderness by this man. And
it's always low-hanging fruit and a cheap shot to have a go at Ed Miliband's political failures, Kemi. Come on. How long? That was, what, 11 years ago now? Get with it. And yeah, he's been a failure on green energy, but you're not going to laud that, are you, little Miss Fossil Fuels?
When the going got tough, he jumped into bed with the mayor of Manchester. It's not the first time he's betrayed someone close to him, is it?
I'm going to count that as a reference, the mayor of Manchester. So that's 2 for the hidden feature now. Still no fix or plan from Keith.
Yeah. But does the Prime Minister think
No, he doesn't.
that this treachery
He doesn't
should
think.
be rewarded by being appointed Chancellor?
Mr. Speaker, the Chancellor and I picked up our party 6 years ago from the worst defeat since 1935. We turned it around and we made it face the country. And we won a landslide general election, giving them the biggest drubbing in their history. Thanks to this Chancellor, we've delivered
The loveless landslide. You could have put a red rosette on a fucking donkey and it would have won the last general election. Let's be honest. And look what they got. I didn't vote Labour in 24, and I'll say it loud, and I'll say it very proud.
fastest fall in NHS waiting list for 17 years. We've the money for new rights for renters and working people, and we're lifting 500,000 children out of poverty.
There are 4 million children in poverty, Keith. 4 million.
Fascist junta! Mr. Speaker, the test for every Prime Minister is handing over the country in better shape than you found it. I know I can do that, which is more than can be said for her.
You didn't last as long as Rishi Sunak or fucking Sonny Jim Callaghan. Shortest serving elected Prime Minister ever. Yeah, of course, he's lasted longer than Truss. She wasn't elected, of course. But you could even include other non-elected Prime Ministers, like Rishi Sunak, for example. Definitely the shortest elected serving. Definitely the least popular as well. That's your legacy, plus a whole shitload more. Prescribing non-violent direct action groups, for example. The social media ban for under 16-year-olds, for example. The winter fuel allowance, the 2-child benefit cap. The list goes on and on. But tell us more about these notes here. 12 breakfast clubs or whatever it was that you keep harping on about, Keith.
Her predecessor, her predecessor's predecessor, and her predecessor's predecessor's predecessor.
Mr. Speaker,
A Russian doll of nonsense there.
once again I have to ask, if it's all so fantastic, why is he resigning?
What the fuck is going on up there?
And I think it is very generous of the Prime Minister to stick by his ministers, because they didn't stick by him. He can say what he likes, but the people of Aberdeen gave their verdict. They gave their verdict on his energy secretary by voting Conservative. But to be fair, Mr. Speaker, to be fair, they're not all traitors and deserters. Some of his cabinet have been loyal and incompetent. Hands up if you think the Education Secretary is doing a good job. Even she doesn't think she's doing a good job, Mr. Speaker. Even she doesn't think she's...
You're not allowed to do a pissing hands up fucking who thinks thing in the House of Commons. Jesus, who do you think you are? Lindsay Hoyle himself, the sponge-mouthed, flannel-lipped dickhead from Chorley. No, you never hands up who thinks this. Come on. Fucking. Does she actually think that's how Parliament works?
doing a good job. Just... someone did. Just for those who raised their hands, the two people who raised their hands.
One in over 600 was stupid enough. Really, were they? That's it. That's incredible. Yeah, stand there and gloat about that. Right, just get on with it. We know you're going to ask the same question at least another 2 or 3 times. And then we'll get on to Ed Pissing Davey, of course.
Yesterday, a poll found that 0% of teachers think the Education Secretary is doing a good job. 0%. She taxed private schools to pay for more teachers. It turns out appointing a spiteful class warrior as Education Secretary was a disaster. Does the Prime Minister agree Does the Prime Minister agree that he has been let down by her incompetence?
Prime Minister.
The Education Secretary grew up in poverty. She knows exactly what it means to grow up in poverty.
And now she's bought and paid for, like you. The end.
She was once reluctant to tell her story. I know her story. It's an incredible story of social mobility and success.
Was it like sitting at a kitchen table and looking at your mum and dad and all the bills? Oh, but I'm not making enough tools. And you need to nurse more and better.
I am so proud that she is sitting there, and so should everybody in this country who cares about social mobility. She knows that for poor children, education is absolutely vital, and that is why it drives every single priority and value that she has. I would have thought the party opposite would recognise and understand some of that, but they've fallen so low they don't.
Mr. Speaker, the fact is that if she knew so much about poor children, she wouldn't have given them fewer teachers. Teacher numbers have gone down. Teacher numbers have gone down.
It's to say it's, but Badenoch's correct.
It's amazing. I've never seen this much excitement on the Labour benches. Yes, cheering so loudly while there are 400 knives stuck in his back. Shame on them. Shame on them. They don't like it up them, but they know that what I'm saying is true.
She's not got room to talk herself, of course, but yeah.
And Mr. Speaker, there were times when the Prime Minister tried to do the right thing. He did try to cut welfare. And who stopped him? Those MPs behind him. In the words of the Welfare Secretary.
Yeah, not you, because you'd never be able to gloat about stopping welfare cuts, would you?
His MPs only want to know who they can tax to fund more benefits. They are not Labour MPs, they are welfare MPs. Does the Prime Minister feel betrayed by the people he got into Parliament?
Sorry, Prime Minister. Can I just say, let us think about the language we're using.
If you don't like the language I'm using, you can fuck off.
Can I just say, think about the language we're using? Because when we leave this chamber, don't be surprised when constituents feel they can use the same language against each other. Let us show a little bit more decorum and respect to each other.
What is he specifically referring to there? Or did he just do that to by the way, I'm still here.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was trying to do all of this with as much good grace as I could, but I shall certainly miss these exchanges. I'm very proud of every one of our MPs who, with a landslide Labour victory, coming from all different backgrounds, from all different places across the country. We inflicted the biggest loss on the Tory party opposite in the history of their party. We picked up our party, we turned it around. We had to address what went wrong. We turned it around. We won a landslide victory. She won't even address or even talk about their failure after 14 long years.
Can we bear or not?
Did you fix it? Are you getting on with your plan for change? Come on. How is it still 0-0?
Mr. Speaker, he is the one who is resigning because of his MPs. There's no point trying to distract from it. And let's be honest, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister has made many mistakes, otherwise he wouldn't be going. But he has also been let down. I'm only saying what his staff have been briefing. He has been let down by an energy secretary who is killing industry, let down by a chancellor who is killing jobs, let down by backbenchers who don't understand that government is about tough choices. He U-turned again and again and again to appease them, and now they've abandoned him. And what for? A pair of eyelashes and a black T-shirt. Isn't the truth that whoever is in charge, Mr. Speaker, isn't the truth that whoever is in charge, the real...
That one went over my head a bit.
problem is the Labour Party.
Mr. Speaker, 2 years ago I...
Eyelashes, black teeth, what?
walked into number 10 and found a broken economy, broken public services and broken trust in politics.
And what do you do to things that are broken, Keith? What's the remedy? It starts with an F and ends in an X and involves Nob the Builder.
Because of our decisions, my decision, the country is moving in the right direction. A stronger and a fairer Britain. Ending austerity. Investing in our public services. The fastest fall in NHS waiting list for 17 years. More rights for workers. More rights for renters. Standing with Ukraine. Britain's reputation restored and 500,000 children being lifted out of poverty. Change promised by a Labour government.
He said everything now. He said change, deliver. As he said, inheritance, even maybe inheritance that's at the bottom of the league. Come on, just give us one, Keith. Come on, just make it worthwhile. You absolute bastard, ye. Thank you very much, Comrie, for the gifted membership there. Solidari-Tea. Great to see you in chat, as always. And is that another one there? Yeah, 2. Thanks again. So let's update the total to 128 now. Big up, Comrie, please, everybody in the chat. Solidarity from England to Wales. Where was I? 128. Back to Keith. Come on, he's dancing around it. He's, you know, these two are running the gauntlet here. Saying everything but plan and fix. It does get quite frustrating when that happens, don't you think, people? Yeah, come on.
Fought for by a Labour government, change delivered by a Labour government.
Change delivered. Did 2 in a row.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My Hendon constituency is proud to sit at the heart of the UK's largest Jewish community in the London Borough of Barnet. But today, many of my constituents, many of that community, are living in fear. In northwest London, in recent months, we have seen Jewish charities
or paranoia, which is a form of fear.
Firebombed, synagogues attacked, Jewish people stabbed in the street, and all that against the backdrop of a daily drumbeat of abuse and intimidation. I know everyone on these benches is determined to defeat this despicable hatred, and I welcome the actions the government...
Genuine cases of anti-Semitism, yes, but conflating Israel with Judaism, of course not. That's a whole other hot topic which we've been into many times on the channel. Of course, we grieve all victims of violence, whatever religion or not religion they might be part of course.
...is taking to root out the poison of our anti-Semitism. Can the Prime Minister tell this House what the government is doing, not only to protect the Jewish community in...
Will make stabbing people even more illegal? What? But again, what he's hinting at is some form of exceptionalism, which Zionism plays upon, of course, very heavily leans upon, plays upon, whatever you want to call it. Now, since the Golders Green incident, for example, and the incident here in Manchester, there's this sort of phony, fake, private police force going around, which is really weird. It's the uniforms that they use and the colour schemes that they use on the uniforms and so on and so forth are almost indecipherable from the police themselves. You know, of course, imitating a police officer comes with a very severe sentence in itself, but you can't really lose your head over these things and present a sense of exceptionalism to anybody, really, whether they be Christian, Muslim, Jew, whatever religion, or again, no religion, because that's only going to create further division, which fuels hatred, of course, and then you'll have more shit to deal with of your own making. Just what is it that he's asking of here?
And Barnet, but to make sure we can live full and proud Jewish lives free from fear.
Yeah. Well, I thank him for his question.
And I don't want to say feelings over facts, but I think he's really talking, possibly talking about feelings over facts. because feeling threatened is not the same as being threatened naturellement, is it? And another gifted... Oh, wow, what, 20? Yes, 20 gifted memberships from Comrie. Fantastic contribution there. Thank you very much. Yet again, big up, 20 times big up. Comrie, hope you all enjoy your perks, new members. Excellent. Yeah, let's keep this hype train going, getting us towards 150 there now. Awesome stuff. From Comrie, Solidari-Tea. Let's change this membership goal now. 148. Yes, please. Huge big up. Comrie.
Anti-Semitism is a poison, and that is why I drove it out.
And free the Welsh.
Out of the Labour Party. In government, we're acting to drive it out of society. New powers to ban repeated protests. New plans to root anti-Semitism out of our...
You're gloating. You're gloating about banning protests. I can't believe it. And now he's going to... You heard the AS stuff there that came out in his resignation speech, of course, which was quite unbelievable. Shows the numbers, Keith. Shows how there were more genuine cases of anti-Semitism in Labour under Corbyn than any other party. You were a Labour member at the time. Yeah, and even after the election, he called out the AS bullshit himself, but he knew what he was planning to do, and here he is now, saying the very things that he condemned back then. What an absolute piece of shit Keir Starmer is. What is he?
He's an asshole too, sir. Gun is made first class. Philip asshole.
Schools, universities and the health service, a new prescription-like powers to clamp down on malign state activity which incites hate.
Oh, sorry, Comrie, did I miss another couple of singles? Well, fantastic. So that does get us to actually 150, yeah. Again, more shout-outs for Comrie in the chat. Nice round number now. Fantastic. Yes. Thank you very much. Welsh Independence now. 150. Excellent.
Hatred and violence. And we will take further steps. I'm proud to lead this tolerant, decent country and will always fight for the security, safety and freedom of British Jews.
Sir Ed Davey, leader of the Liberal Democrats.
Now, if you hark your minds back to the earlier sombre statements about the Muslim victims, that one we saw just there seems a little bit more emotional and genuine. I'm just saying, I don't know what you might think I might be implying with that observation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I associate myself and my party with the Prime Minister's remarks about the horrifying train crash in Bedford and the appalling attacks near a mosque in Edinburgh? Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families. And can I mention...
You don't pray, Ed Davey. Don't buy that for 1 second.
Mr. Speaker, today's review of Nottingham's maternity services, which is truly shocking. I hope the government will rise to this moment and implement Donna Ockenden recommendations in full without delay. Mr. Speaker, can I also recognise how difficult it was for the Prime Minister to make the statement he did on Monday? It's an important reminder as we debate issues robustly in this House that we are all human, and it's something that everyone should remember.
There appears to be
What the fuck is going on up there?
some sort of goings on here, some incident. Just rewind that. No spoilers in chat if you already know what this is about. First time watch for me. And many others.
Nottingham's maternity services, which is truly shocking. I hope the government will rise to this moment and implement Donna Ockenden's recommendations in full without delay. Mr. Speaker, can I also recognise how difficult it was for the Prime Minister to make the statement he did on Monday? It's an important reminder as we debate issues robustly in this House that we are all human, and it's something that everyone should remember.
I might have missed some aside comments from someone off mic. Was there some sort of quip or remark about the statement about Starmer being a human or something like that?
Mr. Speaker.
What the fuck is going on up there?
What the fuck is going on up there?
As we all know how hard it is when relationships break down with close friends and allies, when even our next door neighbour...
Okay, he's moving on. So if anybody genuinely knows what that was about, do let me know in chats. Yeah, we're past the spoilers now. He looks pissed, as in intoxicated, or pissed as in the American sense, as in annoyed, pissed off. Well, I guess you could say both. But of course, Hannah Spencer was very clear in saying how shocked she was in just how drunk people get before they go into the chamber, as she observes it herself.
Ellie speaks to us some of the time.
She's
Has
one of
the
ours.
Prime Minister's experiences opened his eyes to the need to rebuild Britain's relationship with our European friends and allies?
Yeah, it did look a bit sort of, what was that, mate? But if it was anything serious, I'm sure Hoyle would have intervened. So it does make it a bit more mysterious that we didn't even get an appearance from the Speaker.
Will he advise the right honourable gentleman, the member for Makerfield, to put his...
England still haven't scored. Doc, yeah, I won't count that as a spoiler. Of course, being held to a 0-0 draw yesterday by Ghana. Just put everyone behind the ball for an hour and a half. That was pretty much it. The whole game. Well, that's not football, is it? That's not football. That's not football. I mean, anyway. Yeah. It looks like we're going to run into the game now. Well, it's gone past 11, yes, of course. So just a very quick reminder. No spoilers with the Scotland score as well, whilst we're on that topic. Thank you very much. I'm going to try and round this off quickly and maybe catch a bit of it myself.
EU red lines in the past and adopt our plan for a new growth and defence partnership.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very proud of the fact that we've reset our relationship with the EU and we're bringing it closer together. That is in the best interests of our country, and I know he understands that. And I know that, like me, he's been reflecting on his own career. Given that he had revelations, he turned down a job with MI6. I think the whole House will be wondering what might have been. 00 David.
Sir David. Mr. Speaker, it's very tempting to respond to that, but I've signed the Official Secrets Act. But I have to say, on Europe, when history looks back at the Prime Minister's time in office, I fear that clinging to those old red lines will be judged a mistake.
There we go.
But, Mr. Speaker, moving on,
No
as we
spoilers in chat.
swelter through this dangerous
We do it live.
heat wave, we see the damage caused by extreme weather and climate change. Schools closed, travel chaos, lives at risk, massive costs to our economy and society. And with our Met Office already warning that future summers will regularly break 40 degrees
They will.
at even greater human and financial cost, is he alarmed that some parties in this House still follow Donald Trump with policies to send temperatures soaring even higher? So will the Prime Minister warn his successor not to listen to Conservative and Reform voices and instead back our plans to cut bills and tackle climate change?
Can I thank him for raising climate change, because it is one of the most significant challenges.
It's the biggest thing that we face on the planet, Keith, by far.
Of our time, and the weather today reminds us just how important it is. And it used to be common ground across this House, actually, that climate change was the generational challenge. And
last week you had Lammy up there trying to gloss about how much you were taking from the North Sea. Don't give us this crap.
common ground that the UK should be a leader globally on it. And I remember not so long ago the party opposite leading in the COP summit, something that we were able to support. It is a shame that in order to chase reform votes, they've changed their
We're behind
mind.
our legal
We
commitments
haven't got
still.
that consensus across the House.
Way
But I
behind.
will always maintain that we must be global leaders on climate change, and we always will be.
We aren't, and we're not heading that way either. That's a ridiculous statement to make.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This morning, a mature street tree fell on my house. No one was hurt, but it is another reminder of the results of this extreme heat that we're facing. Today is the hottest June day ever on record. Extreme heat and flooding are becoming more normal, and the government need to stay ahead of this. In our homes, in our workplaces, and in our farming. As Chair of the Environment APPG, I'm conducting an inquiry into government preparedness. Can the Prime Minister tell the country what actions he is taking to step up our resilience?
Well, thank you for a question.
Sweet fuck all. That's pretty much what's going to happen.
It's clear that severe heat waves are evidence that climate change is impacting our country. And we've been working, Mr. Speaker, to coordinate the response, and I urge people to follow the guide.
So why did you refer to me and my fellow supporters in Just Stop Oil? What was the statement again? Yeah, you disagree with what we were doing, trying to get the government at the time to take action, and now other organisations trying to get you to take action as well. But you don't listen. You never have. You never will. A very vacuous statement, if ever there was one.
From the Health Security Agency.
Oh, carbon capture was the other big thing he tried to laud, of course, this non-existent technology that he professed would save us, and we'd be world leaders, world number one on. Again. Who's fact-checking this? Anybody? In real time? Lindsay Hoyle? Maybe? Can they just stand up and make any claim that they want? You know.
We're making our country more resilient for the future by modernising building regulations so homes are cooler and better ventilated, building 9 new reservoirs to protect water supplies, and investing record amounts in flood defences and sustainable farming. While Labour is doing that, Tourism Reform want to rip up the Climate Change Act. That is the wrong approach for our country.
There's Savile Roberts.
Yeah. Diolch yn fawr iawn, Lefarydd. The end of the Prime Minister's premiership comes close on the heels of the end of Labour's 100-year dominance in Wales. People simply didn't feel that his party stood up for them, and it's irrefutable that this too is part of the Prime Minister's legacy. There is a tradition, I believe, of leaving notes on desks for successors. So, will he leave a useful note to the incoming Prime Minister that respect and understanding go a very long way, and that democratic choices, including those of devolution, can't be dismissed?
I shall leave a note saying what we delivered for Wales in these 2 years was the largest ever devolution settlement, the UK's first small nuclear reactor in...
Why don't you just leave a picture of the Senate election results, Keith?
Anglesey, investing £14 billion in Welsh Rail, a pay rise for 170,000 workers across Wales, and I'll end the note by saying we're lifting 70,000 Welsh children out of poverty. Nick Keir Starmer.
That must be why you lost the Welsh vote for the first time in a century. Read the room, dickhead.
My constituent, Jake McGregor Howe, a 16-year-old with everything to live for, has been diagnosed with Friedreich's ataxia, a rare neurodegenerative condition which is cruel and swift-acting. The average life expectancy of people diagnosed is just 37. Despite the NHS's founding principle...
Yeah, Comrie's ecstatic at that fact. Couldn't have done it without him, could you? Of course. Yeah, well put there, Comrie. That was excellent news. One of the better things to take out of the local Senate and Holyrood elections in May.
That care should be based on clinical need, not ability to pay. Jake's father is crowdfunding to pay for treatment in Germany with a new drug omavaloxolone, which has received clinical approval here but is not available through the NHS. Assessment by NICE has stalled. The condition is not classed as an ultra-rare disease, yet is rare enough that any drug to treat it will struggle to meet NICE cost-effective criteria. So the family constantly have to raise enough money to pay for each round of treatment. And shockingly, Jake has recently undertaken a PIP assessment.
Yes, Graham, Nordhaus is very good as well. Yeah, I've mentioned others like Professor Bill Maguire and Kevin Anderson as well, worth a read. Former government and former let's start again. Former British governments and United Nations advisors. That was, and the heat starting to kick in now. Sorry for tripping over my words there. But yeah, I know a bit of Nordhaus is worth his work is definitely worth checking out, because it's of course not just the geographical consequences, the natural consequences of climate change as well. The societal collapse, perhaps the worst elements of societal collapse, will come before that. It's a very long story, which I really wish I had time to get into to scare the shit out of you with, but alas, I do not. So yes, do follow Graham's excellent recommendation there and check out Nordhaus.
And been turned down for much needed
In the middle
support.
of your street.
Families should never have to crowdfund for treatment abroad for a life-threatening disease. So will the Prime Minister arrange for me and other colleagues who have constituents with this cruel condition to meet the Health Secretary and discuss a way forward?
Can I start by sending my best wishes to Jake and his family? The changes we've made to the way NICE evaluates medicines is already increasing access to innovative new medicines. I will make sure that she gets the chance to meet the Health Minister to discuss Jake's case and the related issues.
Sir Desmond Swain. Yeah.
Desmond Swain. You only get Desmond Swain once in a while. It's almost like he's a cartoon. It's always something with him. But yeah, just back to that point you were making there, Graham. Yeah, they're pretty much just sleepwalking off the end of a cliff as far as their reaction to the climate crisis is concerned, and the pseudoscience that they follow. We're mentioning this, what would you call it? Bizarre cheese nightmare that is Nordhaus economics. Worth a read, but don't take it. Obviously, take it with a pinch of salt. And yeah, it's really is something. But it's terrifying that they're nodding along. And the focus, the main sort of element or factor of that is the obvious capitalist obsession with money, with endless profits. The line on the chart has to go up, and it intertwines, with psychopaths and sociopaths. And these people think, oh well, if something's about to happen, in this case the climate crisis, what's the best way that we can try and make money out of it instead of approach it as the, life-threatening disaster that it is that awaits down the road.
Mr. Speaker, I hope
Desmond
this
Swain.
is the time in which the Prime Minister will be able to enlighten his party as to the moral of the cautionary tale of Jim, who ran away from his nurse and was eaten by a lion.
Well, like I said, it's always something with Desmond Swain. I'm not familiar with that story. Is he getting a lion mixed up with a whale and Jim mixed up with Jonah? What's that all about? Was it perhaps a very vague reference to this awful incident in a crocodile enclosure? Sorry, I'm not laughing at that incident. I'm laughing at Desmond Swain. That just once more. And remember, this is what his constituents pay him for, to get up and hold Starmer to task. He was at his psychotic heights during the COVID pandemic. I'm not sure if any of you remember his appearances during that.
Sir Desmond Swain.
Mr. Speaker, I hope this is still time in which the Prime Minister will be able to enlighten his party as to the moral of the cautionary tale of Jim, who ran away from his nurse and was eaten by a lion.
Well, no. Is it a recent story? Should it be one we or all of us can remember from our childhoods? Is it a biblical reference, or is he getting it mixed up with? He ran away from his nurse and got eaten by a lion. It's almost like a cryptic fucking clue in a crossword. Maybe he's just read out a cryptic clue from a crossword instead of his actual question. Desmond Swain. Worth every penny. God.
Can I thank the right honourable gentleman?
What the fuck?
He's always most generous. And, Mr. Speaker, I'll never forget that just a few years ago I went on holiday in his constituency with my family, and I was in the kitchen of the place we were renting when somebody...
That's not all you were renting either, is it, Keith?
Went through the open door, and it was the right honourable gentleman with a bottle of champagne saying, "Welcome to the New Forest."
Look at this.
And then he took...
Yeah. And you're hanging out with Tories and drinking champagne, and you're against the status quo, aren't you?
Time to speak to my family, including my wife's elderly father, and to my children. I thank him for his generosity.
Hamilton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank the Prime Minister for his leadership. One of the concerns that I hear most often from my constituents across Erdington, Kingstanding, Castlevale and South Oscott is about the rapid growth of exempt accommodation. Properties refused HMO licences in my constituency and across Birmingham are opening anyway as exempt accommodation with very little scrutiny, which undermines local community and decision makers. Will the Prime Minister...
How many of you are now Googling Jim ran away from the nurse and got eaten by a lion? Come on, be honest. I'm not. Phil, what are you doing over?
Sorry, will the Prime Minister... Sorry, I've forgotten what I was going to say. Will the Prime Minister...
Well, I was going to say other search engines are available.
Confirm when will this new legislation be brought forward, and will
obviously there were James in the Bible, not Jim.
Also, will this legislation...
What, ran away from his nurse? What? So he's not a nurse, he's got a personal nurse, and ran away, implying they cohabit? And got eaten by a lion. So Jim lives in Asia. Or next door to fucking Knowsley Safari Park, I don't know.
Legislation and its regulations be applied retrospectively so that communities like mine are protected.
Can I thank her for her question? And everyone deserves a safe place to call home. The Housing Secretary has the power to introduce locally led licensing and will consult on these regulations in the summer. Under our proposals...
Africa, sorry. Not Asia.
National standards for supported housing will be enforced by local authorities. I'm proud of the action that we've taken to back renters, abolishing Section 21 evictions, expanding the Decent Home Standard and Awab's law to cover the private rental market.
Jack Rankin.
Mr. Quiet part out loud there, supporting the private rental market instead of social housing. What's happening with these however many million homes? Keith, you're not even coming through on that.
Speaker, the first duty of His Majesty's Government, indeed the
Only
Prime
halfway
Minister's
through the
first
term.
duty, is the defence of the realm. The Prime Minister is not responsible for the worsening geopolitical situation, but he is responsible for this country's reaction to it. It is imperative that we can outline to our allies...
Yeah, the British Empire, or what's left of it as well, never been responsible for any geopolitical situation. Certainly not the ones that have recently been taking place, and still taking place, of course, in Palestine, as well as Iran, Lebanon. Well, it's nothing to do with us. No harm, no foul. Yeah, we're just on the outside looking in. I've never even heard of RAF Kateri.
At the Ankara NATO summit early next month, how we will meet that situation. There were reports yesterday that he is being pushed to delay again the defence investment plan by the new member for Makerfield's Outriders. Will he confirm to this House that he will...
But I'm counting that one as 3 for the hidden feature. Mentioning the member for Makerfield, of course, that counts.
Push ahead with its publication, confirm that it is fully funded to the level the Chief of Defence Staff said is required, and not to the level his former Defence Secretary resigned over, and in doing so, fulfil his first duty to defend the realm.
That's the first duty
Defend
last
the
government
realm?
spectacularly failed at, because they hollowed out our armed forces. We've already delivered the
Defend
biggest
the
sustained boost
realm?
in defence spending since
Just
the
a moment,
80s.
Keith.
That's
I need
270
to
billion.
pause this. Defend the realm? Where the fuck do you think you are, Westeros? Defend the realm? Fucking hell. Yeah, and the Andals and the First Men. Fuck me.
Pounds over this Parliament. We will increase that with the Defence Investment Plan, which will be published before the NATO summit.
Rachel Hopkins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Following last Friday's train collision south of Bedford, the emergency response from Bedfordshire Police, British Transport Police, Bedfordshire Fire and Rescue Service, the East of England Ambulance Service, Magbas Air Ambulance and other counties' air ambulances, our local NHS hospitals and, of course, railway staff. Their response was swift, professional, compassionate in supporting those who were impacted, especially in such distressing circumstances. This was public service at its best. Will the Prime Minister join with me in thanking all of those involved for their outstanding work in the aftermath of this tragic incident?
Can I thank her and the thoughts of the whole House with the family of the driver who lost his life and those that were injured, some of them extremely seriously.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Mr. Speaker, on Saturday, I spoke to the CEO of the East of England Ambulance Service to thank his team for their professionalism in responding. And we talked through the nature and the scale of the challenge that they faced in relation to that crash. They were outstanding in the most difficult of circumstances. And by the time I called him on Saturday morning, he assured me they were all back at work and they were all back on duty, dealing with whatever else might happen that weekend, having delivered those that needed to be delivered to the hospitals. I found that humbling.
Stop saying deliver.
And it is a real tribute
Please.
to those that responded, as they always do, including, I must say, the local community in this case. But I also want to thank the brilliant NHS staff who are still caring for those who are seriously injured.
Speaker, my children, like million others, are kicking every ball of the England World Cup campaign. But I, as a parent, are really concerned about their security in this country, along with other Muslim parents. Let me explain why. When a Sikh lady got raped in Warsaw, the perpetrator repeatedly called her an effing Muslim bitch. Whilst there was no condemnation from the minister from the dispatch box, no outcry from members in this chamber.
Well, you know, a lot of these knuckle draggers can't tell Muslims, Sikhs, Hindus apart, or even people from certain parts of Europe as well. It's just... I'm familiar with the case he's referring to, and it's absolutely revolting.
Who openly call out these matters when the perpetrators are of a different colour. When we had the Unite the Kingdom march calling openly for the expulsion of Muslims in this country, there was no ministerial statement condemning such statements. When this weekend we had 5 members of the Muslim community stabbed on the streets of Edinburgh, there was no ministerial statement of condemnation, no Cobra meeting, and no solidarity. Can I ask the Prime Minister?
Jeremy Corbyn in the bottom right of the shot there.
What does this silence say to my children as they wait with abated breath for Harry Kane to bring it home?
I want his children to feel safe in this country, and I will do everything to make sure that they are. We will all fight anti-Muslim hatred with everything that we've got. An attack on one is attack on all of us. That is what I said at the top of PMQs, and I hope you heard it.
In Lavery.
You, Mr. Speaker, the coal industry social welfare organisation CISWA. It's a miners' charity that was established in the 1920s to support the miners in their community.
Sorry, I turned him into Knob the Builder for a moment there.
Communities. It's carried out some incredible work with some incredible employees, but the current leadership team is increasingly detached from its founding principles. Miners' welfare, sporting facilities, community facilities have been allowed to rot, they've been allowed to close with little or no support from CISWA, the charity. And at the same time, CISWA has amassed £30 million in the bank. 30 million, Prime Minister.
Ooh,
does the Prime Minister agree that it's time that the charity faced not only a Charity Commission inquiry, but also a serious reform into the policies, the practices and finances, and should benefit the former mining communities it was founded to serve, instead of constructing a £30 million ivory tower for the future? Yeah. Damn right!
Can I thank him for raising this important issue? I know members across the House have raised issues with the organisation directly. It is imperative that these communities are listened to. I understand that the Charity Commission has opened a compliance case. I'll get that confirmed for him. I'm proud that this government has stood up for mining communities, including ending the injustice of coal pension schemes, increasing the pensions of over 150,000 former British coal employees, and I thank him for raising this case.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. US big tech has exploited us for far too long. So I'm delighted that the Met Police followed my advice and pushed Apple and Google to implement the stolen handset blacklist, curbing resales.
But they're also annoyed that they can't take the backhanders from Palantir and other large corporations. Boo fucking who. Like the similar reaction we got when Hannah Spencer, as we mentioned earlier, was calling them a bunch of pissheads.
Cutting mobile theft by almost half. Likewise, does the Prime Minister agree it's time to stand up to social media companies and reclassify them from platforms to publishers, holding them responsible for the harmful and addictive content that they recommend, promote and profit from?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I thank him for his question. He will have seen the action we're taking in relation to social media. The social media ban for under-16s, which has been welcomed by families across the country, strengthening the Online Safety Act to tackle intimate images.
No, it hasn't. It was highly controversial.
Abuse and cyber flashing and closing loopholes in chatbots and taking on Grok. But there's more to do.
In Aldershot and Farnborough, thanks to this Labour government, this week we are bringing the National Armed Forces Day celebrations back to the home of the British Army. Yay. But in a week when we salute those who have served and are serving our country, elderly Gurkha veterans were assaulted in the park by our war memorial and told to go home.
Revolting.
Will the Prime Minister and the House join me in standing against this despicable attack and commend the heroism of our Gurkhas? And does he agree with me that now is the time to resolve the long-standing issues on Gurkha pensions, as we have been working towards, because the Gurkhas have given so much for our country?
Can I thank her for her question? She's a great champion for our armed forces.
Yeah, the British actress Joanna Lumley had a famous campaign as well for the Gurkhas and the proper recognition that they deserve. It's also often overlooked that 100,000 Muslims gave their lives during the war, and again, that's something that these knuckle-draggers seem to overlook, isn't it?
And the fact that the national celebrations are returning to Aldershot this week are a testament to her campaigning. The racist attack she describes is utterly disgraceful, and I condemn it, and I hope the whole House will condemn it. We stand with our Gurkhas, who have made an incredible contribution to our armed forces and continue to do so. Mr. Speaker, on Gurkha pensions, ministers have met her, veterans and the government of Nepal for constructive discussions. These will continue, and I pay tribute to her for her dedicated work on this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I start by wishing Scotland well
We're
tonight?
going to get into the quick parts.
Following the conviction of former SNP Chief Executive Peter Murrell for embezzlement, serious questions about government oversight remain unanswered. The Scottish Government is refusing to establish an inquiry despite clear public concern. The law does provide for UK inquiries into devolved matters where there is a wider public interest. So as the Prime Minister prepares to leave office, will he set up an inquiry with the powers needed so we can uncover the truth?
Well, can I wish Scotland well as well in the upcoming match? And of course,
No
England
spoilers
in
in
the third match,
chat,
a little bit on the
please,
last night,
people.
hopefully. But, Mr. Speaker, on this question, it is really a serious set of questions that need to be answered by the SNP and the government, and they simply refuse to do so. They call for transparency and accountable for everybody else when they have giant questions of their own to answer. Nothing to see here, don't want to know, don't want to have an inquiry. Totally the wrong approach.
Speaker, this government's commitment under the leadership and influence of the Prime Minister to tackle violence against women and girls is a commitment that is really shared by many of my constituents. On Saturday, I was out in Llangollen for a Welsh Women's Aid fundraiser organised by community champion Moira Gleed. Llangollen's most Wuthering Heights Day ever saw me join 230 plus Cathies, learn a dance routine, all dressed in red, and perform in a streamed performance that went across the world. We've even had some fans from Japan get in contact. I know, thank you.
I have a question.
Will the Prime Minister join me in recognising the hard work of Moira, her daughter Rowena, and all of the organisers, volunteers, and importantly, the performers for making this really important event happen?
Well, can I...
Well, it's good of you to raise the issue, of course. Are you asking Starmer if he wants to come and join you in a dance routine? I wouldn't fancy your chances at that.
Pay tribute to her and all of those that took part, and I'm really glad that it got noticed around the world, because this is what raises awareness. I thought she was going to ask me to join her in the next dance.
Well, so did I. Well, for once, you and I are in agreement. Still an absolute piece of crap.
I'm very happy to do so.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tony Blair suggested that at the beginning of his premiership, he was at his most popular and least capable. Blair talked about ending his time in office at his least popular and most capable. For the sake of people in the South West and across the country, what tips can the Prime Minister offer his successor?
Well, I think the first one would be don't ever inflict austerity on the...
Don't say that Israel has the right to commit war crimes on an LBC interview. How's about that for a kick-off, Keith?
Country. And since he's a Lib Dem, I'd probably add, don't wear a wetsuit.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, you will be aware that on Monday it was Windrush Day, founded by Patrick Vernon, to celebrate the contribution of migrants to our community. Could I ask the Prime Minister to outline exactly what this government is doing to recognise and serve the Windrush generation who did so much to play a vital role in our country's history?
Well, can I join her in marking Windrush Day and thank her for raising this? Because this is the opportunity to thank a community that made an extraordinary contribution to our country and remember the injustice that they faced.
Did, and can't remember which particular right-wing hack it was, or the paper itself, the usual culprits, Telegraph, Daily Mail, that sort of thing, but published an article basically trying to discredit the economic advantages that the Windrush generation brought with it. Yeah, complete hack piece.
I'm proud that we've overhauled the compensation scheme to deliver faster access to compensation and justice, provided £1.5 million to organisations supporting claimants, and appointed the first ever Windrush Commissioner to rebuild trust and deliver justice. I'm incredibly proud to lead a country that's built on dignity and respect, and where everyone is seen and everyone is valued.
Wendy Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. From slashing winter fuel payments to surrendering the Chagos Islands, this Prime Minister has got every major decision wrong. It's no wonder even his own MPs are now looking elsewhere for the answers. So as this may be one of his final appearances at the dispatch box, will he make one final U-turn? Will he scrap Labour's disastrous grey belt policy?
Good point there about Windrush as well. Theresa May's hostile environment, the vans going round, shopper migrant vans, and all this, intimidation. Really, it was really appalling. Let's not forget that. From what would that be? Well, about 10 years or so ago now.
And help protect the precious green belt spaces and green areas across Aldridge Brownhills. And if not, his legacy will be one that he was the Prime Minister who destroyed so many of our local communities.
I do like the Right Honourable Lady, and when she talks about destroying and legacies, I remember she was the Chief Whip, I think, to Liz Truss. I'm very proud that we are building the houses that we need so that everyone has a base camp for their opportunity and their aspiration, something the last government failed on and we're succeeding on.
Final question, Alistair Strather.
Mr. Speaker,
That's getting quick. It's a late win.
Spotlighted some of the heartbreaking ways we're failing too many young men growing up in Britain today. But it was heartening to see the inspiring work Hitchin youth worker Dan Gaze was able to carry out with young men in my community who found themselves in hard times. Both Dan and the boys at Hitchin Lads Boys School who were interviewed as part of the documentary I thought were an absolute credit to my town. But how can we make sure we're encouraging more men into teaching and youth work roles so that every young man growing up in Britain today can benefit from these positive role models across their community?
Can I join him in paying tribute to the inspiring community members like Dan, who truly represent the best of Britain? Having an inspiring role model is vital for young men, and that's why we're investing £500 million in our National Youth Strategy, which includes launching 50 new young future hubs, creating more mentoring and youth worker opportunities.
That's it.
Let the front benches change over.
Oh, that was it. Another 0-0 draw. Boo. But 3 mentions for the hidden feature with Andy Burnham. That's it for another PMQs. And Keith's catchphrases. What did you make of that, people? Let us know in the chats as the number of Keith's catchphrases increasingly diminishes.
Oh no. We now come to Prime Minister's questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Deliver. Black hole. Plan for change. 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 Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That's unfortunately another rather uneventful PMQs as far as the game goes. Both contenders will be replaced next week following the draw.
Very poor indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Taxi for Starmer. Yeah. Yes, so eventually Keith's catchphrases will go, as will a lot of our features. Of course, we have the Fondue Lounge, which has been, I think, the longest running feature on My Left Eye live streams. Yes, all great things must pass. But we're working on it. I'm not sure if Burnham will use some of the same phrases. We'll have to see. But as for a lot of the features, like I said earlier, and as I once said to someone in bed, I'll have to do a lot of those reinserts yet again. But phrases like plan and change, I think, will still be used, but the biggest question is whether Postman Swap will survive with deliver. Really hope he doesn't. No, please stop using deliver. Please. Moving swiftly on.
On with it. Yes, get on with it! Get on with it!
We'll get on with it. Just time for a very quick look at a poll. This one is hypothetical if Andy Burnham was the Prime Minister, and it appears to put Labour back in front, according to this More in Common survey, but I'm not sure what I make of this particular one. For example, showing the Greens only gaining 5 seats, leaving them with 9. Yeah, don't really rate this one too much in terms of accuracy, to be honest. I think it'll probably age like milk left outside on a day like today was, I guess. And tomorrow will be as well. It won't take long. It's more or less a given that it will be Burnham, but it won't take long until people realise it's just more of the same. The revolving door of number 10, Neolibs, continues. So that was more of a smirking jibe at that poll, really, to be honest. A very big pinch of salt where that one's concerned. No, where are we? There it is. Time for another shout out to the members. Thanks for all of your contributions on tonight's stream as well. It's been incredible to get up to 150. I really do appreciate that support. Whether it comes as well from super chats, stickers, thanks, buy me a coffee page. We really do appreciate all of your contributions. Another reminder, please do check out some video content and share some hype points by hitting the thumbs up button while watching on a mobile device, a phone or a tablet, or anything else of that nature. We're also getting very close to 6,000 subscribers, so we appreciate you sharing our content, however you choose to do that as well. I think we're just around 50 members away from 6,000. So it would be excellent to reach that landmark. Thanks again, people. You could keep me up all night talking about the climate change. I can see that's happening in chat. Do keep it going as we get towards the end of the stream. Stick around. I'm going to be raiding elsewhere. I'll let you know exactly where that's going to be in just a moment. For now, a quick notification. Just moments to go until the poll closes. Very easy one. Who do you think will win? Sorry. How long do you think the next leader of the opposition will last? Less than a year, 1 to 2 years, or until the next scheduled general election, which is in 2 years or so. Last chance to vote if you've not done so already, so we'll see who's live now. And of course, post-credit shenanigans. to come. That is another one that we're going to have to redo or modify. So much Keith content on the channel. It happens. Things change in politics, so we must change with it. Sorry, the YouTube studio's been a little slow here. It's the heat, you see. And we'll go to Katie Marshall. Do subscribe to Katie Marshall if you're not familiar with the channel. One of your fellow viewers as well, from across the border up north in Scotland. So that's set now. Stay put. See you over on Katie Marshall's stream in just a moment. All that remains is for me to thank you for joining me on this evening's Brews at 10. I've been your humble host, Lefty. Thanks for being cordial and whatnot in the chat. Always appreciated. So, power to the people, free Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan and Yemen. Don't let the bastards grind you down, don't watch the news, be the news. My left eye will be seeing you soon. Solidari-Tea, good night.
Forgive me if I don't take too much notice of the Leader of the Opposition. For 14 years, they broke our welfare system, lost control of our borders, presided over the biggest fall in living standards on record, broke the economy, prisons, the NHS. I could go on and on. No wonder she and they are totally irrelevant. The change delivered by this Labour government, the biggest upgrade in workers' rights in a generation, delivered. Renters' Rights Act, delivered. Record funding for our NHS, delivered. The fastest growing economy in the G7.